नमस्ते सबैलाई मेरो नाम डाक्टर सागर बजाचार्य. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Sakar Bhattacharya and I welcome all of you to our channel Dental Mac Dental. As you can see on the screen, today I am making this video on COVID-19. This video will mainly target everything about the COVID, especially how COVID-19 got its name, what is its causative agent, its classification, types of COVID virus, history is from 2019 to till now, pathophysiology, clinical feature, investigation, prevention, treatment and vaccine. So what is COVID-19? COVID-19 is a short form for coronavirus disease 2019. It is a life-threatening disease which is caused due to a viral attack. The virus that causes COVID-19 is known as SARS-CoV-2. It stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2. Now, before talking further about COVID-19, I would like to share a timeline with you. The timeline shows how COVID-19 grew from 2019 to till now. As you all can see, I have made a timeline related to COVID-19 by gathering all the informations from December 2019 to till now. I have compiled them and made it in a timeline form. So according to the timeline, on December 2019, the initial cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Wuhan, Hubei province, China. Unusual cases of pneumonia were recorded with clinical features of dry cough, dyspnea and bilateral lung infiltration in imaging. On December 31st, 2020, coronavirus cases were recorded to WHO office, China, originating from Wuhan seafood market. On Jan 12th, 2020, the same market, Wuhan seafood market, was made closed. On Jan 11th, China's first death was recorded. On Jan 12th, China sets genetic code of coronavirus to the whole world. On Jan 13th, first case out of China was found in Thailand. On Jan 20th, first case in the USA was found, and on Jan 24th, first 3 cases in Europe were recorded. At the end of January 2020, corona was found to be originated from wild bats and similar to the SARS, so called as SARS-CoV-2. On Jan 30th, SARS-CoV-2 was declared global public health emergency. On Feb 2nd, first death in Philippines out of China was recorded. On Feb 11th, the WHO names the virus as COVID-19. On Feb 15th, first death in France was recorded. On Feb 19th, outbreak in Iran was noticed by the whole world. On March 11th, it was declared as global pandemic. On March 20th, Italy surpasses China with highest death toll. On March 26th, global case exceeded 5 lakhs in total number. On April 2nd, global cases exceeded 10 lakh in total number. And today, on May 2nd, 2021, coronavirus cases is total 15,28,56,467 in total number. And total deaths due to COVID-19 is 32,07,581 and almost 13,1,49,202 people recovered from this disease. Now let's know the classification. In which classification does the causative agent of COVID-19 belongs to? So on the screen we can see a flowchart that shows the classification of RNA virus, and we can see coronavirus in the lowermost portion of the flowchart. So according to the flowchart, we can know that coronavirus is a enveloped RNA virus, and it is single stranded. So coronavirus is enveloped RNA virus, and the genome which is present within the coronavirus is single stranded. Talking further about the classification of the RNA viruses, we must also know the types of coronavirus. There are 3 broad types of coronavirus, and they are SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV and SARS-CoV-2. As we know that SARS-CoV-2 is the causative agent of COVID-19, but similarly in the past time, there were 2 viruses that affected the respiratory system of the people, and they are SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV. SARS-CoV stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus. It is the first type, or the type 1. It affected the people from year 2003. Then comes MERS-CoV. It stands for Middle East Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus, which affected the people in year 2012. In this diagram, we can also see how coronavirus traveled from animal to animal or primary host to secondary host, then from secondary host to the human body or the tertiary host. As in this diagram, it is shown that the coronavirus is first originated in bat, and from bat it is transferred to other animals, which are the secondary sources. So in case of SARS-CoV, cross-species transmission occurred in between bat and civet cat in 2002. Then from 2002 to 2003, it transferred from the civet cat to the tertiary host, that is human body, and the disease was known as SARS. Similarly, in between, we can see that 30 years ago, a transmission or cross-species transmission occurred in between bat and camel became the secondary host, and later the virus transferred from the secondary host of the camel to human body, which was known as MERS-CoV. And similarly, in 2019, the coronavirus transferred from bat to pangolin, and in year 2019 it transferred from pangolin to the tertiary host or the human body. Now talking further about the structure of the coronavirus. In the further picture, we can see a microscopic imaging of coronavirus. The center of the image is occupied by genomic RNA, which is the genetic material. It is a single-stranded RNA which is enveloped. It also contains nucleic acid, which is also known as nucleic acid or nRNA. The genetic material is covered or protected by a lipid bilayer. The lipid bilayer contains three types of protein, and they are S protein, M protein, and E protein. S protein helps the coronavirus to get attached to different types of cell structures. Now talking about the incubation period of coronavirus progression in majority of the cases can be illustrated by the further picture given. When a host is exposed to virus, there is a time period of 4 to 6 days average and can be longer, up to 14 days. There is a period which is known as incubation period, in which no symptoms are developed. Then there comes an infectious period which is of up to 8 days to 10 days longer, but can be more longer, which starts 1 to 3 days before symptoms develop. After incubation period, there is a period of illness which is of up to 10 days but can be longer also. In this period, people experience different types of symptoms related to COVID-19. After 10 days of period of illness, there comes 3 days of time period where no more symptoms develop and people starts getting healthy. After this 3 days period time, people are released from isolation and they are healthy enough to go out. Now let's talk further about the pathophysiology of the COVID-19 virus and how it affects different body organs. As we know that COVID-19 affects different body parts, but the main organ that it affects is the respiratory system or the lungs. It gets attached to the type 2 pneumocytes in the alveoli and causes the respiratory failure, as well as it gets attached to the ACE2 receptor present on the epithelial cells of the alveoli and causes hypercoagulum state further, and it causes cytokine storm. Talking further about the pathophysiology of the COVID-19 virus, we must know the basic structure of the alveoli as well as its function. So what is an alveoli? Alveoli or an air sac, it is the smallest unit of the lung which helps to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide in and out from the lungs. It has two types of cells, and they are type 1 and type 2 alveolar cells or pneumocytes. The type 1 cell is also known as simple squamous epithelial cell, and the type 2 cell is known as surfactant, as you can see on the diagram. So the type 1 alveolar cells are those cells that line the alveolar sac, as you can see in the diagram. These are the type 1 type of cells, and the type 2 type of alveolar cells are the pulmonary surfactants that are present inside the type 1 type of cells, like this. Type 1 cells help in exchange of the gases from inside and outside of the body, and the function of the type 2 cells or the surfactant is to produce a detergent like material. This detergent like material helps in decreasing the surface tension of the water molecules. As we know that oxygen comes inside the alveolar sac from the environment, and this oxygen travel from the type 1 type of alveolar cells and transfer into the blood vessel, and carbon dioxide from the blood vessel, which are collected from overall the body, transfer inside the alveolar sac. In this way, oxygen is supplied to the body. The oxygen particles that are transferred from the environment to the alveolar sac contains molecular water particles. These water particles has surface tension. If the surface tension is not breaked, then it does not allow the lungs to expand or relax. So type 2 alveolar cells are very much important for the respiratory process. So this was the basic function of the types of the alveolar cells. Now talking further about the pathophysiology of the COVID-19 virus and how it affects our alveoli or destroys our lungs. At first we have to know that anything that enters inside the alveoli except the air of water molecules causes pneumonia. So any bacteria or virus that comes inside the alveolar sac from the environment can cause bacterial or viral infection. Let us suppose the type 2 cells as these rectangular or cuboidal cells. These cells contain ACE2 receptors at their periphery or the surface, like this. So whenever COVID-19 virus enters inside the alveoli, they get attached to the ACE2 receptor present on the surface of the type 2 alveolar cells. The spike protein that are present on the surface of the COVID-19 virus helps it to get attached to the ACE2 receptors. After getting attached to the receptor, the genetic material of the COVID-19 travels inside the surfactant cell. Then inside the surfactant cell, viral genome gets replicated and it's combined with the host genome. As it forms a package, then the surfactant can get burst, or the newly formed genome can get out of the surfactant, and they increase in number. As there are a lot of viral products inside the alveoli, the body immunity system produces pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory cells. The main pro-inflammatory cells that we need to know about are the cytokines. Cytokines contain interleukin or tumor necrotizing factors. The main function of the cytokines is to increase the permeability of the blood vessel present in below the alveolar sac. So the cytokines increases the permeability of the blood vessel, means it increases the break in the blood vessel, as well as it dilates the blood vessels and increases the amount of blood that gushes inside it. So there is large quantity of blood that gushes inside the blood vessel. As the blood vessel is dilated, more amount of plasma from the blood can pass inside the alveolar sac, as well as the content inside the alveolar sac can transfer within the blood vessel. Like this. So when plasma or liquid from the blood vessel enter inside the alveolar sac, there is more amount of fluid present inside the alveolar sac, which decreases the transfer or exchange of oxygen or carbon dioxide in and out from it. As well as there is present of neutrophils or pro-inflammatory chemicals which travel from the blood vessel inside the alveolar sac. It causes formation of the pus inside the alveoli. So there is a lot of things that is happening inside the alveoli, such as inflammation, pus formation, fluid buildup, as well as decrease in the surfactant as the type 2 alveolar cell is damaged. Later on, body also sends fibroblasts inside the alveolar cells, that helps to repair the broken fibers inside the alveoli, which further causes the fibrosis of the alveolar cells and decreases the exchange of the oxygen, and it is difficult for the alveoli to contract or expand. Due to all these reasons, the respiratory system of the body cannot pump oxygen to different part of the body. Thus the respiratory system gets collapsed. But the excess of the material from the blood vessel as well as the alveolar sac is of two sides. Everything that is going inside the alveolar sac is also opened, and the material inside the alveolar sac or the viruses, the genome of the viruses, can travel inside the blood vessel, and they transfer to different parts of the body, so that there is systemic inflammation causing septic syndrome, as well as there are organ failures. Now, talking about the fever that increases in the COVID-19, cytokines that are present within the alveolar sac, they travel from the blood vessel to the hypothalamus. As we know that hypothalamus helps to regulate the body temperature. When they travel to the brain, then they increases the temperature. So in this way, COVID-19 affects different body part, and all the symptoms are related to the COVID are now clear. Now let's talk about the clinical features of COVID-19. What type of clinical features are seen during COVID-19? So there are different clinical features or symptoms that can be seen. The common symptoms that are present are fever, dry cough, and fatigue. In severe diseases, high fever can be seen. Coughing up of blood, decreased white blood cells, and kidney failure are the major clinical symptoms. And uncommon symptoms such as headache, nasal congestion, sore throat, coughing up sputum, shortness of breath, pain in muscle or joints, chills, nausea and or vomiting can be seen, as well as diarrhea. But if you have fever, then how can you recognize that you are COVID-19 positive or negative? So in this flow chart, you can know that you are COVID-19 positive or negative if you have fever. So according to the flow chart, if you have fever and you are experiencing shortness of breath, then you may or may not have COVID-19. If you are experiencing shortness of breath, then you may be COVID-19 positive, along with other symptoms such as cough, fatigue, weakness, and exhaustion. If you have other symptoms such as cough, fatigue, weakness, and exhaustion, you may have a flu too. If you do not have a fever and you feel itchy eyes, then it may be allergy or common cold. So if you are feeling feverish and you want to know that you are COVID-19 positive or not, then how can you diagnose them? Diagnosis of COVID-19 can be done by different methods. The first one is travel history to epidemic countries like China, Iran, and Italy. Now, at the current scenario, almost all the countries are affected with COVID-19 except few. So it can be taken. The second one is CBC. In CBC, leukopenia or white blood cell decreasement seen in 30 to 45% of the patient, and leukocytopenia, that means decrease in leukocyte count, are seen in 85% of the patients. In third option, chest x-ray can be done. It is cheaper and easier with 60% of the sensitivity. Means doing chest x-ray we can find a person is COVID-19 positive or negative. The fourth one is PCR test, polymerase chain reaction test. It is sensitive or effective 30 to 70%. The fifth one is chest CT scan. It is almost 95% sensitive with low specificity rate. And the last one, the sixth one, is IgM IgG combo test for COVID-19. These all tests can be done for the diagnosis of the COVID-19. So in the picture given, we can see three different types of tests that are used to find out that you are COVID-19 positive or not. At the first picture, in the picture you can see three different types of tests that are done to find out you are COVID-19 positive or not, or were positive or not. These tests are recognized by WHO or World Health Organization. So which test do you need to do to find out that you are or you were COVID-19 positive? In the first test, which is also known as antibody test or serology test, this test was used or is used to find out that you were COVID-19 positive in the past or not. It does not give any record about your present. The second test or RT-PCR test, this tells you if you are infected with the virus now. It is the most common type of the test. Involves swabbing your nose or throat. Results have high accuracy. Takes anywhere from 1 day to few days to receive the results. This is the most accurate type of the test and is being performed now. The third type of test is antigen test. This test tells you if you are infected with the virus now. Involves swabbing your nose and throat. Results can be produced quickly, but results aren't as accurate as the RT-PCR test. Antigen tests are not the best first option, so we must try to seek a RT-PCR test if possible. Now let's talk how can I prevent COVID-19. There are few steps that we can do to protect ourselves from the COVID-19. The picture is sourced from WHO. The first thing is to make a distance of 1 meter between the people. Stay at least 1 meter away from people and even further when indoors. Wear a face mask around others. Avoid places that are crowded, confined, or involve close contact with others, especially indoors. Wash your hands regularly or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. Cough or sneeze into a tissue or your elbow. Throw the tissue away and wash your hands after. Clean and disinfect surface regularly. Stay at home and call your health worker if you are unwell. But what if we are COVID-19 positive? In the given picture, we can see new COVID-19 treatment guidelines. This guideline is given by All Indian Institute of Medical Sciences and Indian Council of Medical Research. These guidelines help us to identify COVID-19 treatment based on 3 levels of seriousness, and they are mild, moderate, and severe. So, what type of patient are mild patient or having mild disease? If you have upper respiratory symptoms of fever without shortness of breath or hypoxia, then you have mild disease. What are the do's and may do's? The first thing is you have to get home isolated. Distancing, mask use, strict hand hygiene, symptomatic management, staying in contact with doctor, monitoring temperature, oxygen saturation are the do's. Seek immediate medical attention if difficulty in breathing and or high grade fever, severe cough particularly which is longer than 5 days. May do's. These are the antiretroviral drugs that are to be used. Similarly, who are high risk patient? Old age people who are greater than 60 years of age with cardiovascular diseases, hypertension and CAD, diabetes and other immunocompressive patient, chronic lung, kidney, liver disease, cerebrovascular disease and obesity are those people who are in high risk. Now talking about the people with moderate disease, if you have respiratory rate greater than 24 beats per minute, breathlessness is present, SpO2 level is in between 90 to 93% on room temperature, then you have moderate COVID-19 disease. So what should be done? These patients should be admitted in ward, oxygen support should be given, anticoagulant therapy should be run, monitoring of the basic organs as well as vital organs should be done. So now about the severe disease. If anyone has respiratory rate that is greater than 30 breaths per minute or breathlessness or SpO2 level is less than 90% on room air, then they are the people with severe COVID-19 disease. So for these people we must admit them in ICU, oxygen support must be given, anti-inflammatory or immunomodulator therapy is necessary, anticoagulants should be given, supportive measures should be there, and monitoring of the vital organs as well as the basic organs should be done. For the further knowledge, you can read all the data in this picture by zooming it out and pausing the video. Now the last topic in this video is on vaccine. At the current scenario, there are 3 types of vaccines that are known to the people. Covishield and Covaxins are the older vaccines which has been injected to millions of the people, whereas Sputnik V is the newer vaccine. According to the picture, let's talk about the Covishield. The developer of the Covishield is AstraZeneca, whereas Indian manufacturer of the Covishield is Serum Institute of India. Technology used within Covishield is use of chimpanzee's adenovirus vector. So when Covishield is injected inside the people, then chimpanzee's adenovirus vector is introduced, which is a dummy virus, not a real coronavirus. After introducing the vaccine, body creates spike proteins. After creation of the spike protein similar to coronavirus, antibodies produced. These antibodies will protect the person when they get really corona positive. Now talking about the Covaxin. The developer and the Indian manufacturer of the vaccine is Bharat Biotech. The technology used is inactivated vaccine using the virus strains. That means a part of coronavirus is introduced when the vaccine is injected. All the proteins of the virus are injected, but virus can't replicate within the body. As a result, antibody is produced, and this antibody will protect the person or the patient when they get COVID positive. Now talking about the Sputnik V. Sputnik V is developed by RDIF. Indian manufacturer of the Sputnik V is DRL, Mankind and Hetero. The technology that is used in Sputnik V is use of two modified human adenovirus vector. That means two adenovector viruses are introduced within the body that causes respiratory infections. But these viruses do not replicate within the body. As a result, antibodies are generated which help the person if they get corona positive in the future. Now talking about the efficacy of the different vaccines, Sputnik V has the highest number of efficacy, that is 91%. Then comes Bharat Biotech vaccine, that is Covaxin. It has 81% of efficacy. Then comes the Covishield. It has 72% of the efficacy. As Covishield and Covaxin has been used, they do get some side effect. And talking about the side effect, Covishield has a side effect and can't be used in the patient which has anaphylaxis reaction or allergic reaction. Talking about the side effect of the Covaxin, the people who have immunosuppressive diseases can't use Covaxin. It can be dangerous if they use the Covaxin. So we have covered all the details related to COVID-19 surfacely. If you like the video, then please do like, comment and subscribe. If you want any video related to any other topics, then please do recommend us the topic. We will make the video shortly. Thank you for watching the video.